We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. EU's top court rules all member states must recognize same-sex marriages performed within the bloc, strengthening LGBTQ rights despite national bans.
A federal judge halted the DOJ's attempt to seize trans-use private medical records, ruling that children's privacy outweighs government demands.
A 47-year-old man in Southampton was arrested for displaying a homophobic sign at an anti-immigration protest. Police continue investigating. All this important LGBTQ news and more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views. We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice and our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight. It is Wednesday, November 26th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell you this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 50c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voices as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBT community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Luis Rodriguez. Born and raised in Miami, Luis is deeply rooted in South Florida's LGBTQ+ community. A graduate of the University of South Florida, he serves as office manager at Twist nightclub in Miami Beach, which every twink in America thanks you for doing. Dedicated to service, Luis has volunteered with numerous organizations and currently sits on the board of directors for both Miami Beach Pride and the Outshine LGBTQ+ Film Festival. Luis, Miami Beach Pride announces 2026 festival dates and theme. Tell me, what's happening out?
Miami Beach Pride has officially set its 2026 festival and parade for April 11 through 12, 2026, unveiling the theme, Pride is Infinite. Now in its 18th year, the celebration begins April 7th with daily events leading into a free weekend festival at Loomis Park in Miami Beach. The theme emphasizes pride as a timeless, unshakable force representing endless identities and experiences. Exhibitor and parade registration are now open, and more details can be found at miamibeachpride.com. This is a great event. I've been a volunteer and part of it since the first year. There's so many participants, and having it happen this year when some prides are being canceled and things are being changed, especially since they tore up our sidewalk this last year. So we're going to be marching in a parade across that space. There's so many people that are welcome, and you get people from different countries, different cities that come and all celebrate in all ages, which is fabulous, and it's all free.
Oh yeah, no, I was telling viewers, I was telling Lewis earlier that like I've been to Miami Beach Pride before. It is an absolutely wonderful experience, and most people know, like if you've read anything I've written about Pride events, I tend to be very critical of prides. This is such a nice Pride. I remember it was just a wonderful atmosphere. The area is just beautiful to do it. You know, the whole festival on the beach is just magical. If you're like me, I sometimes will just be able to find a place to sit down and have brunch and watch the parade, which is always wonderful. And just, you do it in April. It's a beautiful time to be in Miami Beach is in April. So it's just a wonderful event to do.
We're everybody to come down for it and plan now, plan early, get your rooms. We have art events, we have family events. There's something for everyone, so please come and join us for Miami Beach Pride. And if you're interested in sponsoring or being in the parade, that's online already. If you'd like to be part of our Angels program, which gives scholarships to deserving LGBTQ plus people, do that also, please. Thank you.
Awesome. Sign up to be an angel, people, and I'll be there as well. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Miami Beach Pride 2026 Festival on April 11th and 12th, 2026.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Alex Morash. Alex has served as editor-in-chief of Options Magazine, media director for the National LGBTQ Task Force, and press secretary for the Florida Democratic Party. Hi, Alex.
Hi, nice to see you, Lewis. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here on Thanksgiving Eve, so getting all set for that. I know my spouse is helping to do a turkey. What about you? Any Thanksgiving plans?
We have the turkeys are brining. We have a big turkey, 2 turkey breasts. We're going to deep fry. And of course, we're going to have an appetizer of honey baked ham.
Ooh.
So we have a lot of people coming over, and it's always joyful to have so many people come over, family and friends, to celebrate and be together at one table.
My scale is breaking just hearing about it. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up the world view. EU court delivers landmark win for same-sex couples, orders Poland to recognize marriage. In a major victory for LGBTQ plus families across Europe, the European Union's highest court has ruled that all EU countries must recognize same-sex marriages performed legally within the bloc, even if those marriages aren't legal at home. The decision, announced Tuesday, November 25th, centers on a Polish couple who married in Berlin in 2018 while living in Germany. When they moved back to Poland, officials refused to record their marriage because Polish law bans same-sex marriage and civil partnerships. Poland's Supreme Administrative Court sent the dispute to the EU Court of Justice. In its ruling, the court said, quote, "The spouses in question as EU citizens enjoy the freedom to move and reside and the right to lead a normal family life upon returning to their member state of origin," end quote. It added that refusing recognition will contradict EU law and infringe on private and family life. Powell Canute, the couple's lawyer, called the decision, quote, "historic, a new beginning in the fight for equality and equal treatment," end quote. At a press conference in Strasbourg, Swedish MEP Emma Winsner hailed the ruling, which said the member states won't be required to legalize same-sex marriage, but they can't block recognition. Meanwhile, Poland's political battle over marriage equality continues. This is a wonderful story for queer couples in the EU. I know the EU is an odd and complex group of member states of how they come to these sorts of decisions, but this is something that a lot of us have been expecting from the EU for some time, to expand rights for everyone that is queer with the different states. Poland's been bizarrely unable to really catch up for a long time, and it's glad to see the EU dragging them forward.
It almost looks like it's giving couples a pathway to be together. If they go to a member state, get married, reside, and then come back to their home state, they're recognized even though it's not legal in that country. So it's giving them pathways to be together. So
Exactly. And we're just glad to hear about that.
I'm Luis Rodriguez, and let's queer up trans rights. Judge blocks DOJ demand for trans kids' medical records in major privacy win. A federal court has delivered a major victory for trans youth and their families. U.S. District Court Judge Mark A. Kearney has blocked the Department of Justice from obtaining private medical records of children who sought gender-affirming care at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. The DOJ had issued sweeping subpoenas in June to 20 providers nationwide, demanding Social Security numbers, home addresses, emails, and detailed treatment information for trans youth. It also sought employee communications and records dating back to 2020. The hospital sued and won. Kearney ruled that, quote, even if this private information could be relevant, the heightened privacy interest of children and their families substantially outweighs the department's need to know, unquote. He called the requested records the highest end of the intimate and personal spectrum that includes deeply personal disclosures by children about their bodies, sexuality, trauma, and consent discussions. The judge said he was not persuaded in the least by the DOJ's justification. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's clinic, one of the nation's largest for trans and non-binary youth, stands protected, at least for now, against what advocates say is a broader federal effort to end gender-affirming care. This is in an issue where politicians want parents to have rights and have say about their children, and they're overstepping in financial and medical issues that these are not medical people, they're not medical professionals. What do they need this information for? What are they coming after? And there was nothing in court for them requiring them to have this information. There were no lawsuits. Why are they pursuing this information when they don't need it?
Exactly. I've long called it the Department of Injustice, regardless of which party's in power, just the way the long history of it's acted. But under Trump, especially this term, it's been unusually heinous, and it's been nice to see, one, that the DOJ can't seem to win a case on anything lately. Thank God, quite frankly. Yeah, we saw in D.C. A man threw a ham sandwich or something at a police officer, and the DOJ tried to indict against him. They couldn't indict a ham sandwich, for pity's sake. They tried to go after James Comey. They got thrown out. They tried to go after the Attorney General of New York, got thrown out. So I'm glad to see the DOJ has a great track record of going nowhere fast. But like, this is scary. Like, they want to know about trans kids. This is a witch hunt. I'm glad that the hospital didn't like just hand the records over and then let people sue over it afterwards, because we sometimes see big organizations just hand the data over, not sure what to do. So I'm glad that we saw that not happen in this case. But like, this is terrifying.
These are all underage children. They're all under 18. They're still under their parents' care, and they're trying to supersede the parents' care, the parents' information.
Yeah. Minors are not. Medical records are not something you get to just pass around willy-nilly.
No.
And it is very horrifying to see the government try to get that data. They're not, you can almost never get it. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but even I knew just at the beginning of reading this case, like, you have to have an extraordinarily good reason as the government to get access to those sorts of records. And I'm glad the judge didn't do that in this case.
That was good news.
Yeah. I'm Alex Morash, and let's queer up the world view. Man arrested after displaying homophobic sign at UK anti-immigration protest. A 47-year-old man has been arrested in Southampton, England, after allegedly displaying a homophobic sign during an anti-immigration protest outside the Highfield House Hotel, a site that has faced repeated demonstrations and even an arson investigation earlier this year. Video shared online shows the man draped in a Union flag and holding a sign reading, "God hates fags." The phrase echoes language used by the Westboro Baptist Church, notorious in the U.S. for anti-LGBTQ+ demonstrations, and for picketing the 1998 funeral of murdered gay teenager Matthew Shepard. Hampshire police say the man was arrested on suspicion of several offenses, including possessing a Class B drug, failing to give his name or address, and, quote, using threatening or abusive words or behavior likely to cause harassment, alarm, or distress, end quote. He has been released on bail while the investigation continues. Local officials have condemned the incident. Police say evidence teams are reviewing footage to identify any further offenses. You know, it's always disturbing to see just the lack of free speech in the United Kingdom. We're seeing this whether we're talking about this man and it's horrendous speech, but one should have the right to say it, you know, and to see how they're treating him and how they were treating Palestinian activists just a few months ago. It's been really shocking to see how far the UK has fallen.
And this gentleman, you can tell he had other issues and other things that they were arresting him for, but I guess this was the part that he was harassing people and maybe causing physical harm to people that were there.
Yeah, that's the other side of this sort of stuff, you know, like I'll always talk about the free speech aspects, but sometimes you have to be careful about those things. Like we were talking about, you know, he's echoing the Westboro Baptist Church language. And you know, I remember what happened to Matthew Shepard. I've met Judy Shepard. She and her husband are just wonderful people. But what really scared me with the free speech discussions here is, when that happened, when they picketed his funeral, all the politicians back then, none of them wanted to do anything about it. And I don't mean telling people they can't say that speech, but creating a buffer zone. Like they used to allow buffer zones around Planned Parenthood. The Supreme Court got rid of it, which was foolish, but that's another story. They didn't even create a buffer zone because it's gay kids. Do you know what the Westboro Baptist Church did? They then, a few years later, started doing the same heinous protests outside of military servicemen who died in Iraq. They would start protesting those funerals. So I always remind people, you should be careful. Free speech is a good thing, but if you're not going to take it seriously of making sure people are protected, there are buffer zones, that sort of hate always spreads. And that's what we saw at that situation. England also has a ton of anti-immigrant hatred, which it's a little bizarre. You guys conquered most of the world. Half the planet has a direct right to citizenship in the UK, as far as I'm concerned. So where is that coming from with them?
Yeah, they're all there, and it's just, words do matter.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Jonathan Bailey soars as 2025's top box office star. Wicked's Jonathan Bailey is officially the highest-grossing box office star of 2025, marking a major win for LGBTQ plus visibility. Wicked for Good opened to a record-setting $226 million worldwide, while Jurassic World Rebirth, featuring Bailey as Dr. Henry Loomis, hauled in $868 million. Bailey's rise comes after he said he once felt pressured not to come out. People magazine also named him 2025's Sexiest Man Alive. I think this is wonderful to see a queer actor rake in so much money in two movies that are both seen horrible reviews by different media outlets. So bravo on being both queer and poor taste in movies.
And I'm glad he's working. He's get all the jobs you can when you can. And he's one of these people that you really don't hear a lot of controversy about. Seems everybody likes working with him. The people like to hire him. And it's more power.
That's right.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up entertainment. Heated Rivalry stars say there was no boundaries filming steamy gay hockey drama. The stars of Heated Rivalry, Hudson Williams and Connor Story, say filming the gay hockey drama's many intimate moments came with, quote, no boundaries, unquote. Adapted from Rachel Reed's Game Changer series, the show follows rival players whose tensions turns explosive off the ice. Showrunner Jacob Tierney told Teen Vogue there are about 3 sex scenes per episode and called the series, quote, gayer than the Hunting Wives, unquote. Story recalled telling the team, quote, you can do whatever you want to me, however you want to me, unquote. Heated Rivalry debuts November 28th on HBO Max. So this is, I'm glad they're giving actors freedom to explore and then give more authentic performances, but with the chemistry, and it enhances the story.
I think that's the most politest way for talking about some hot boys getting it on. Like, oh my God, like, first and foremost, like, I am all in support of, I'm assuming straight boys being all for you can do whatever you want to me, however you want to me. I love it. I canceled my HBO Max to save money, but crap, I'm going to have to renew one more time just to see whatever these boys are getting.
When the bars are going to have viewing parties.
Oh, good. I'm going to have to go to those.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News, let's queer up the USA view. White House TikTok using Wicked song sparks outrage in the LGBTQ community. The Trump White House is facing backlash after setting a November 21 ICE-themed TikTok to Wicked's Defying Gravity, sung by queer star Cynthia Erivo. The post captioned, quote, that deportation feeling, unquote, arrives as ICE policies endanger queer migrants. Journalist Tracy E. Gilchrist condemned the meme's appropriation, saying, quote, this White House can't have defying gravity or holding space, especially not to promote the heinous acts ICE is perpetrating in this country, unquote. I guess they can't come up with everything on their own. They have to pick up somebody else's.
Oh yeah, I mean, and for those that know, like Tracy, she was the one that interviewed Cynthia and Ariana, and came the whole concept of saving space with them. She was the interviewer for that, so she's like such a leader on it. I will say that, like, you know, them magazine wrote the story, and they in their headline they were like, "Is nothing sacred?" And I'm like, Wicked is not sacred, first and foremost. I don't even think it's a queer icon, quite frankly. Like, I think the original Wizard of Oz is much queerer than this one. This is much more like capitalist, sell me something version of queerness. So, like, of course Trump's going to use it. It's the most, nothing is more on brand to, like, rainbow capitalism than Trump and ICE wanting to use the song with them.
And taking a serious issue like deportation and migrants and putting it in a TikTok with a song that means a lot to a lot of people, it's just wrong.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean, like, that's ICE and that's Trump for you. As an LGBTQ nonprofit media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizzas. Jets is the LGBT community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. Our anchors represent the best of the LGBTQ community. If our community is important to you, share this news with your family and friends. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform. Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support if our community is to grow and then thrive. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your host, Alex Morash, and thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow co-host and LGBTQ leader on Queer News Tonight, Luis Rodriguez. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we wish you a good night.